produced program. The opinions expressed by the commentator and his guests for the duration of the program are solely his own and not that of the station, its managers, or owners.
More power at your service.
More power at your service.
Programa nga magadulong sa inyo sang pinakaulihi kag importante nga mga impormasyon may kaangtanan sa operasyon sang inyo distribution utility sa Iloilo, ang More Electric and Power Corporation. More power at your service.
More power at your service. Programa nga magahatag sang kaatagan sa mga ginoobra sang More Power. Agod mapanami pagid ang serbisyo sa inyo. Mahibaluan ang pinakaulihi nga tikang padulong sa modernisasyon kag advisory sa power interruptions.
Kampanya kontra sa mga pagpangawat sa kuryente, electrical safety tips, corporate social responsibility projects.
Kag mapamatian man ang tingog sang mga konsumidor.
More power at your service.
More power at your service. Good day! Welcome naman diri sa ating program, More Power at Your Service. Ang programa sang More Electric and Power Corporation para sa mga consumers sini. On behalf sa management and staff sang More Power, headed by our President and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Roel Castro, ako naman si Joy Fantilaga at your service. Sa subong episode sa aton sini nga pagpangalagad, aton nga istoryahan ano ba lang mga integrated approaches nga ginahimo sang More Power para nga ma-address ining mga recurring incident or fire incident nga nagaluntad diri sa aton sa syudad sang Iloilo. Kay since last year lang sang December, halos everyday from 24, 25, 26, 28 may mga fire incidents kita, and then sa January atong dako nga sunog sa may West Habog-Habog ka sa San Juan. And alarming na ini because ti damo kita no sa mga utod ang nadulaan sa panimalay sang ila sini nga propiedad. So this is really time no nga maghimo na kita sang aton sini nga aksyon. Para istoryahin na mangin kaupod naton later dugay-dugay si Engineer Bailey Del Castillo. Kag maghahatag man kita sang update sa activity nga ginhimo naton upod sa City Environment Natural Resources or Centro kag City Government sa mga activity naton yung patigayon sa Earth Day no sang last Saturday, April 22. And ang aton man nga scheduled power interruption nga matabo subong nga weekend, April 29 and 30. Sang tinalikdan nga mga semana, madamo na naman sang insidente sa nga sunog diri sa syudad sa nga Iloilo. Kag isa sa mga ginapahayag rason amo ang allegedly no mga faulty electrical wirings. Kag kita diri sa More Power, wala kita nagauntat sa aton sini nga mga programs, mga initiatives no para nga ma-educate ang aton sini nga mga consumers nga maglikaw or para malikawan naton ang sunog. Sa part niya sa More Power, we have this record no kung pila na ka mga insidente sang sunog ang nagluntad diri sa syudad sang Iloilo, kag kun ano bala ang RDN nga mga barangays normally or usually nagakatabo ini nga sunog. Kag para nga diskusyonan ini mangin kaupod naton subong sa aton nga program sa More Power at Your Service, ang Vice President for Network Development and Operations, si Engineer Bailey Del Castillo. Sir Bail, good day sa imo kag welcome sa aton nga program.
Good day, Ms. Joy.
Yes, Sir Bailey. Sir Bail, recently no and kung istoryahan lang naton sang subong nga tuig kag sang last year abi no, ang mga big fire incident or cases nga nagluntad diri sa syudad sang Iloilo.
Yeah, yes, that's right. We are also very concerned about the fire incident that happened. This is actually that happened last year.
Yes.
And also this year. Marami also ng mga fire, madamo rin in the first quarter of this year. And we are more concerned because as per BAP, the cause of fire is electrical in nature.
Yes.
And when we say electrical, parang we feel baka mayroong contribution dyan si More Power. So we try to investigate and we wanted to see what are those electrical in nature. But before that, if we look back last year, if we can remember last May 9, there was a big fire in Rizal La Paz. It started somewhere in the house of that Mary Ann Francisco. Then it was being followed early December already. If you look at in December, parang multiple na ang mga fire incident during that time. December 20, Kalumpang, Kampanya Molo.
Sa may Kompanya Molo.
Yes. Then it followed very very sad because merong December 25.
Yeah.
It was Christmas Day
Yes, correct.
in at Bonifacio Arevalo. Na then followed again in the next day December 26.
Yes.
Meron na namang fire at Fort San Pedro Veterans Village.
Yeah.
So talagang nakasunod-sunod ang mga fire last year. And again 28 San Isidro Haro, another fire, malaking fire.
And in fact, balay ni siya ni Kapitan Doreza
Yes.
sang barangay San Isidro Haro.
And if we continue, one of the biggest fire that wiped out around 300 houses early December, parang nandoon na naman sa West Habog-Habog.
Yeah. Early January I mean.
Yeah,
After Dinagyang.
After Dinagyang
Yes.
by para January, early this year. So yun ang pinakamalaki.
Ang West Habog-Habog kag barangay San Juan.
Then yun, the cause of fire parang electrical in nature daw. Then in the first quarter of this year, in March, there were also multiple fire incidents. March 17, Halandone Estate, and there was still other fires that
Yung parang adjacent neighboring
Malapit
barangay lang.
So because of that, we also coordinated this with BP, and one time pinatawag kami with Councilor Cabaluna to discuss what are the strategies,
Yeah.
what needs to be done so that we can prevent this fire incident that keeps on recurring since last year.
But before we discuss further, Sir Bale, no, ang mga strategy, ang mga integrated approach nga ginahimo subong sang more power, usually what time gid ni siya usually naga-occur ang sunog?
Based on the previous records, and also we coordinated with the record from BP
Yes.
to make it official. We noticed that the early morning and late afternoon.
Kaagahon, and then kung mga nagakasirom.
Then there was a pattern also that early morning, diba, there are so many parang ongoing activities.
Yeah.
Then sa afternoon, pag-uwi na naman, babalik na naman ang mga residents. That is where there are some ongoing activities. Doon also mangyari nga there were fire incident.
What do you think, Sir Bale? Nga daw mo ni ang pattern?
Siguro aside from yung sabi ni BP, based on the record actually,
Yeah.
there was an attended cooking. So meaning, kung morning, di ba,
Yes,
you'll be
correct.
cooking. And sometimes somewhere in the late afternoon. And there were also parang overload. So meaning, nagamit ng mga residents,
Halos tanan open eh.
nagamit sabay-sabay.
Yes.
That's the usual, magsabay. That is when there were fire incident that happened.
Okay. Based on these findings, anong mga integrated approaches nga ginahimo subong sa more power, no, ang nga agod para nga ma-address naton ang ining mga recurring incidents?
Yeah, so first, we make it a more systematic approach. We conducted a study
Okay.
and look at the multiple causes. So actually, there are so many causes that we identified or parang concern, like the related ng electrical short circuit. And there are causes also that because of an overload or parang overloaded outlets. And yes, old appliances like old electric fans. And during Christmas, there were lights or Christmas light that got wet and got short circuit, and so on. Then we try to identify all of those causes so that we would know, kasi marami siya, where to prioritize, and that is where we will start our program after identifying what we need to prioritize.
So, what are these approaches sa nga ginahimo sa more?
So, ito yun. First step, we identify the area. Very important.
Yeah.
Kasi kung saan, kasi malaki si Iloilo, and we need to identify which to prioritize. And what we did, we created what we call a hazard map. And that hazard map actually is not just being created by more, but we coordinated that with CDRRMO.
Okay, the City Disaster Risk Reduction Management
Yes.
Council.
We coordinated with them, and they also provide the data. And that's why we came up with para mga hotspot area wherein we can prioritize when we will start the program.
Okay.
And we noticed that most of those areas are very congested. So makita natin nga number of houses, marami. And we also have previous records from BEP regarding sa mga fire incident in the past. And another criteria that we consider is the number of illegal connection, Miss Joy, that we were performed or we actually recorded in the past 3 years. And also we identified yung mga number of pool fires on those area. So yun, with that, na-identify namin nga mostly an area in Galumpang, in
San Juan,
saan pa yan?
Kalaparan,
yun. Then areas that malapit sa coastal. Also, there are so many houses. They are parang hazard, fire hazard areas. And that is where we will prioritize.
Okay. So, and I think, Sir Bill, no, aside from that, ang aton nga network operations, ang aton nga COMREL with the BFP, with the education, I mean the information education campaign ongoing ni siya. Halos kada barangay may gina-schedule kita, no?
Yes.
Normally, anong mga discussions, anong ginahimo nila?
So before that, there are 3 phases pala, Ms. Jo.
Ay, okay. Yes.
There are 3 phases of this program that we will do. So after we identify the hazard map, we will be doing the inspection.
Okay.
So the inspection is actually ongoing na because the program already started last April 12. We started with our meeting with the Bureau of Fire, Office of the Billing Official, UBO, the City Engineering's Office, or the City Engineer's Office, the CEO, More Power, and the barangay officials.
Okay.
And in fact, we are very happy and thankful also with the barangay officials because they are very cooperative.
Yes.
And even BFE, UBO and the CEO, they are all very cooperative, and they are sending their people to join us in our first step, which is the phase 1, is the inspection. So join inspection together with them, because when we had our meeting, we really expressed our concern that More Power cannot do it alone.
Yes, correct.
We need the help talaga
Of other offices.
government
Yes.
agencies or offices, kasi malaki ito nga coverage, and also to make it a very strong campaign against fire prevention.
As you can see, no, sa may mga access sa Facebook Live, gina-flash naton ang inspection nga gina-conduct sa More Power. Ano ning gina-inspect nila, Sir Bailey?
So yun, we have a checklist,
Okay.
and that checklist was also created in coordination with Office of the Billing Official.
Okay.
And that checklist, gagamitin natin dyan because it will serve parang our findings.
Okay.
Doon natin ilagay kung anong findings, what are the common or causes na possible mga cause ng fire, and what are those substandard installation that we identified during the inspection. So the usual there, if the establishment meron mang circuit breaker,
Okay.
and if the rating is enough, and the wiring is also within the standard, we also look at the service entrance, the service wires, if those are standards or properly installed, and of course the outlet and the existing appliances. Nandun yan sa checklist. Then after we identified, and even Miss Joy, we also get the total connected load. If we notice that the wirings are marang maliit,
siya.
we check the load para we can compare if those wires, service wires, or the main circuit breakers are enough to carry the loads houses na nakita natin. And then we'll give a copy, of course, to the establishment owner,
or sa balay.
Sa balay, yeah, sa owner. Para they would know what are the things that they need to correct.
Parang may recommendation tayo, sir.
Yes, there is a recommendation, and then that's actually now the phase 3 will be the correction.
Okay.
So if there are mga substandard installation na nakita natin from the pole sa poste going to the residence or to the establishment, more power will correct that.
Okay, from the pole to the service entrance.
Yes.
Kay more power.
Yes, and up to the meter.
Up to the meter, okay.
Then after the meter, going to the main circuit breaker and inside the houses, it will now be, of course, the responsibility of the
customer
end user.
End user na.
Or customer. And with our recommendation, also with the Office of the Building Official. Kasi inside the building is under the jurisdiction ng Office of the Building Official.
Let's clarify that, ha. From the meter up to sa service entrance, that's the responsibility of more power. And then sa halin sa inyong circuit breaker, sa inside sa inyong premises, inyo na siyang responsibility. So kung in case may trouble, no, from poste or sa meter pakato sa inyong service entrance, please call us, no. We have this 24/7 na hotline number. But kung ang trouble is within your premises or within sa inyong structure, inyong balay, call your license, no, na registered electrician.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then the checklist we will provide a copy to the customer, and also we'll also provide copy to BFP and OBO, because the phase 4 is now the monitoring.
Monitoring na.
We monitor what are the recommendations. Siguro after 1 month, we will again parang conduct re-inspection and review if our findings were already corrected. And of course, on our side, we will already do the corrections once after we inspected that there are mga wirings or substandard installation that we need to correct within more power responsibility.
Okay. I don't know, sir, if we already have initial findings, and ano ang the usual na violation?
Yun, very common pala, Miss Joy. We were actually surprised because when we look at the circuit breaker, it's good merong circuit breaker yung ibang mga establishment.
Okay.
But the wiring, some are using telephone wires, and some were using the yung wire ng stereo, yung duplex or extension cord, which is substandard and very small. So doon kami na medyo, ito talaga parang a very possible cause of overload. Doon pa lang sa main circuit breaker, because the wire is very substandard. Ginagamit lang yung sa wiring sa mga stereo, duplex, and some are using telephone wires. So yun, it's good nga we were able to identify that and inform the owner. Baka si owner, they are not aware.
Yes, correct.
And that's the purpose of the IEC, so that in parallel to the inspection, Miss Joy, to address the awareness and make the establishment owner more mindful with the existing installation inside their establishment. That's why we have the information, education, and communication that is in coordination with the barangay. Kasi talaga, we're happy also si barangay ngayon. Sila na tumatawag sa atin.
Okay.
They call us nga, kami na naman susunod. We will set the IEC and to gather all the, as possible, as many as residents in the area para to educate them. Then the good thing there, hindi lang si Moore mag-present. It's also CBEP. They will also have a short presentation to remind about fire prevention program. And Moore will also present about the safety program related to electrical system. So that this is ongoing. We started April 12 and until today, they are somewhere in La Paz, I think. we are done with around mga 6 to 7 barangays
Okay.
as of today.
Until when ini siya, Sir Bale?
Our target, actually our objective is, because our objective is zero fire incident for the next 6 months. So that's why our target is dapat within 6 months, we are done with the IEC, we're done with the inspection, house-to-house inspection. And after that, we will just monitor the accomplishment of all the recommendation, of all the findings that will be implemented. So that by Christmas, kasi doon na ang parang based on our observation, summer and Christmas. And hopefully by Christmas, ready, everything is corrected so that we can eliminate the fire during the Christmas celebration. Wherein, there are so many activities during that time.
Yes. And hopefully wala sang fire incident, especially those barangays nga gin-inspect na naton, nagkanda kita sang IEC, kay kung matabo na siya, but silingon nga, namati lang ka mo, but wala nyo gin-absorb, wala nyo gin, ano ni siya tawag, wala nyo gin, namati lang ka mo, gin palusot lang kumbaga sa pihak kadulungan, wala nyo gin, himo kumbaga ang gin lecture sa isang BFP sang more power. Finally siguro Sir Bale, your final message sa aton sini nga mga consumers.
So our program will continue until October.
Okay.
And with that, if some barangays are parang you found the need, we need to visit, kahit hindi na include sa yung initial na priority list natin, we can actually go and visit the barangay based on the schedule that will be provided by the barangay officials. And then we can conduct the house-to-house inspection, the IEC, the information, education, and communication. And then we will monitor the completion of whatever findings and recommendations na makita ng team natin. Maganda kasi ang inspection kasi nandun si BP, nandun si Ubo, nandun si More. Kompleto talaga, and we will provide our findings and recommendations.
Kag gina-isa-isa gina yung mga balay, Sir Bale?
Isa-isa nila, but ngayon kasi marami ang bahay, also we do prioritization. We prioritize based also on the condition of the houses. So meaning kung nakita natin ni Ms. Joy ang bahay luma na, so this is priority. Or siguro mayroong mga sira na nakita natin. But kung bahay siguro bago pa siya, so siguro not really a priority, but unahin natin yung mga visually we notice that there's a need to parang do some corrections. Sir
Bale, before we finally end, balik lang ko sa you've mentioned kagaina nga may wires nga using the telephone wire. Ginamin mo ang a wire from the meter to the service entrance ng customer?
No, it's from the service entrance going to the main breaker.
Sa ilang main breaker.
Sa loob na ng bahay.
Okay.
So sa loob ng bahay, there are some standard installation also that we found that we need to correct.
And I think kung sa aton subong, especially sa mga new applications, very strict si more power sa paggamit sang wire
Yes.
Especially sa mga bag-o balak nga nag-apply sa more power, gahatagi kita sang may mga recommended nga size ang wire nga gagamiton.
Yes, so standard yan.
Yes.
We will not actually energize if we found during inspection that the wires are small or not within the standard. So that's why we normally sometimes delay ang application because of that.
Yes,
but that's why we don't want to compromise, we don't want to sacrifice safety.
Okay. And siguro remind naton pagyid sa mga consumers naton nga wala pagyid sang kaugalingon nila nga meter kag submeter lang kamo sa neighbor ninyo. That's an unauthorized load side connection. That's why nga si more power ang aton sini nga kampanya against sa mga submeter naga-top sa ilang neighbor, mabaskog man because nga syempre kung naga-top ka mo dira, may possibility ged nga mag-overload kag amo ni masami man nga ginatunaan sa nga sunog. Okay, sige, thank you so much Sir Bale sa pag-join sa sining program, sa sining episode sa aton sining pagpangalagad diri sa More Power at Your Service.
Thank you, Ms. Joy.
Thank you so much. Sang nagligad nga semana ang aton sining More Power employees, volunteers, kag guardians of the environment ang nag-upod sa Earth Day. And may kabugusan kitang 21 sacks no sa may Esplanade 3, 15 sacks sa may Esplanade 5 kag 9 sacks of non-biodegradable garbage no ang na-collect naton dira sa may Esplanade 9. And nakatanuman ang aton sini nga mga volunteers sang more than 200 seedlings of mangrove. Ini may kangtanan sa Earth Day sang April 22. Kag sa dugang nga detalya ating yari ang aton nga More Power Balita.
Nagpakigbahay ng More Power sa malapnagon nga coastal clean-up kag mangrove planting activity sa pagsaulog sang Earth Day sang nagligad nga Sabado nga may tema Invest in Our Planet. Temprano pang nagpanilo sang pangpang sa Iloilo River ang mga katapos sang Guardians of the Environment sang More Power nga ginabugusan sang ilang mga security personnel kag upod man ang mga nag-volunteer nga mga empleyado. Nagpananom sila sang kapin sa 200 ka mga seedlings sang mangrove sa Esplanade kag nakakolekta sang 45 kasako sa mga basura. Ginpangunahan sang Iloilo City Government ang programa. Kabuilog ang mga estudyante sang John B. Lacson Foundation Maritime University, University of San Agustin, kag iban pa nga volunteer groups.
Ang message taguro sir sa aton nga mga residents sa aton private sector and also our students is that we have to work hand in hand because we want to make Iloilo City a livable and sustainable city. So we are all enjoined to be part of the protection of our environment.
Tuman ang pagpasalamat sang city government sa pagbuylog sang More Power sa programa para sa proteksyon sang Iloilo River kag iban pa nga mga environmental advocacy sini. Kabahin na sa mga programa sang More Power ang pag-amlig sa dunang manggad, kapareho sang tuigan nga pag-release sang fish fingerling sa Iloilo River, regular nga pagpaninlo sa suba, kag kilid sang baybayon, kag ang pagpananom sang mga seedlings.
Ini ang More Power Balita Subo.
Thank you once again sa mga nag-upod sa ato sa subong episode sa ato sini nga pagpangalaga diri sa More Power at Your Service. Kita na naman kita sa masunod nga Sabado or sa sunod nga semana no diri sa ato sini nga programa More Power at Your Service. Sa katapusan ini si Joy Fantilaga at Your Service. Good day.
Kag inyo nabatian ang More Power at Your Service.
More Power at Your Service.
Tubtob sa masunod nga simana, mag-ululupod liwat kita, bangod.
You deserve more.
The preceding was an independently produced program. The opinions expressed by the commentator and his guests for the duration of the program are solely his own and not that of the station, its managers, or owners.